Hi there, everybody. It's Iftikharuddin, or Ifti as you can call me, from Extreme Returns. I thought I'd make a video about who is the best popular investor at the elite level. So very quick background about myself. I qualified as a chartered management accountant many years ago, worked for big companies like Unilever and Mars. I was on the Unilever Fast Track Management Program. I went into sales recruitment, recruiting at very high levels, including doing headhunting. Enjoyed that. But set up my own estate agency because I wanted my own business. I was always trying to work towards that. And then later my own car hire business with my son. In fact, the whole family got involved in the last couple of businesses, as they have with Etoro as well. But I'll come on to that in a little while. So that's a little bit about me. My stats, I've just joined Etoro, this account recently, although I had one before that, which had really good results, but I couldn't keep the name. So if you have an extra $200, please do copy me. I am going to be an elite pro. It'll just take a bit of time. And do subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Okay, enough about me. Now, the platform has got a popular investor program. Very simple, get copied, get paid. They've got 4 different levels. Cadet, which is where I'm at minimum assets under management 500. You just have to put in 1,000 yourself. Then after a couple of months, you can get promoted to champion if your assets under management have gone up to 50,000 and you put in a total of $5,000. Elite, which is the ones we're going to look at. So just to give you an idea, about 75% of popular investors at cadet, 20% at champion level, and 4% at elite level. And at elite level, you need a minimum of $500,000 under management. You've got to put in $25,000 of your own money. And once you've been an elite for 3 years and reached 10 million assets under management, there's only 6 elite pros, and you put in $50,000 of your own money, you are now on the big money. In total, I came across 43 elite popular investors, and I have listed them all out here. Here they are. So what I thought I'd do is find out who the best is. It's not simply about getting the biggest returns, although obviously that's a very important aspect of any investing. What you don't want is to follow someone who's got fantastic results one year, and then the next year they don't replicate it and they do badly. In fact, if you look at some of those who didn't do so well in previous years, they did really much better. So how do you tell? So as an analyst, as a financial accountant, I would look at a number of different factors. Obviously, returns are important, but I would look at the quality of the portfolio, judging it by financial metrics, return on capital employed, return on equity, and those kind of good things. I would also look at how good is the value, because you don't want to overpay for a portfolio. Now, some of these popular investors might have invested when it was really cheap. Take Dean Fredericks. He's made over 1,500% on Tesla. Now, it would be almost impossible to get those kind of results in the next 12 months. He's done fantastic. Don't get me wrong. That's not a criticism. All I'm saying is it becomes harder as you get bigger. So one of the metrics I look at is how good a value is the portfolio, and I'll rank it. Also, momentum is important as well. So how fast is it growing? Another important thing is how often do these popular investors keep in touch with their followers? Some of them have got over 1 million followers, and many of them have got thousands of copiers. So it's important to keep people in touch. I came across one the other day, won't mention his name. He said, I don't respond to any questions at all. And I thought that was a rather odd comment because he's making a fair amount of money from commissions on Etoro. I think it should be part of the job of any popular investor, especially as they get bigger and have more copiers and followers, to keep in touch with them. Some of them, like Yepe, for example, who's an elite pro, has a team of people who respond on his behalf, which I think is fantastic because it does become overwhelming for one person to respond to every single request. I look at the importance also of sector diversification. It's important not to be only in one sector. I think it's important to have multiple sectors, because historically studies show that different sectors do well, and portfolios that are diversified do better than those that are concentrated. Likewise, I like to see people who have got an international breadth to their portfolio. So I'm going to give points accordingly. The dollar, as everyone knows, has been declining for the last 2.5 years. Now, what that means is that international companies, or even US companies that have got international operations, have an advantage. So I'd like to see that reflected in the portfolio. Cash holding is important. If you have too little, you can't take advantage of any opportunities. If you have too much, it's sitting around doing nothing. There are some top popular investors that have got more than 90% sitting in cash. They would not be able to do that in a professional environment of fund management. Nobody would allow that. I can't think of any top funds that would hold that kind of cash, because what you want, the whole purpose is to get your cash working for you. And the reason we're copying these people is because of their ability to pick stocks or other assets. Likewise, if you've got too few companies in your portfolio, it's too concentrated and there's too much risk. If you've got too many, it dilutes the whole returns. The optimum size is between 15 and 25. So I'll give points accordingly. Now, the next two are also important, and something which not many people pay attention to, but I do. I think it's important. First of all, where are your profits coming from? And secondly, where are your losses coming from? So I analyze that. And what I think is that if you're a good fund manager, it's not good enough just to pick the right stocks, but to have the right percentage of holding in them. So if you identify a great stock and it goes up really high, I'll reward those that have got their profits coming from their largest positions. Likewise, I'd like to see the losses coming from the smallest positions. So in terms of returns, obviously it affects the overall stock portfolio return if you've got your profits coming from your largest positions and your losses coming from your smallest positions. That's just good fund management. Finally, not part of the ranking, but just to help people, I will make a comment about general advice and future prospects, where I think that portfolio is going. There are lots of indications based upon all of the research that I'm doing and the analysis I'll do, that I can tell how well this stock or this popular investor is likely to do. And you'll be able to see that. So what I'll do is I will look at all of the elites. There's 43 at the moment. Some of them have done really well. Dean Fredericks, fantastic job. Well done, sir. 246% last year. And those who haven't done so well, Fabian had a terrible year. The NASDAQ went up by 48% in 2020, and he trailed that by more than 60%. I hope he can turn it around. Ironically, big profits wasn't big profits. But we'll come into all of these in a lot more detail. I hope to give you some analysis which will be beneficial and help you to decide which of these elites is the best to copy, to follow. And I'm doing it from a financial perspective, very objectively. And I hope that you will benefit. Just before I go, I'd be really grateful if you could copy me with $200. That's all I ask for. I will be one of the top popular investors. Just going to take a little bit of time because of the Etoro rules. Also, my whole family is involved. So my wife invests in, her name's Adiba. She's got an account called Asian Tigers, as you can see. Her stats are very good as well. We all joined fairly recently. She did just under 4% last in December, and so far on the 18th of January, she's up by 4.5%. It was up higher, but the market seems to be going down a little bit. So her portfolio is only Chinese, Taiwanese, Singapore, Korean companies, so all the Far East, because those are the ones that are growing really fast. In fact, let's do my eldest son. He's a doctor, junior doctor working in a local hospital, and he's treating COVID patients. So what he loves to do is look at investing in companies that make the world a better place. He's got all of these kind of companies: solar, water, green transport, pollution control, organic, and obviously healthcare as well. And his stats, I think, are the best out of all of us. He spends the least time because he's so busy in his job. It was 10%, it's come down to 7%, and he's doing really well. So that's my eldest son. My second son is the one that's to blame for getting us involved and hooked onto eToro. His name's Amir. He does FX only and a bit of crypto. Drawback last year, he's making it up in January. And his portfolio, as you can see, is it's all green at the moment. So he's doing really well with currencies, and he's also got a little bit of a Ripple. He's making money on it. Not many people do that. And finally, my third son is one who's a medical student. He's studying in Eastern Europe. He's here in the UK at the moment due to lockdown. And he's got a lot of time on his hands when he's not studying. So he looks at a portfolio, and all he says is, Dad, I just want to do better than the banks, and that can't be very hard, but I want to have a low risk score. So he looked at Olivia Danville as a model and said, well, if he can get 1 million followers, I'm sure I can get a few as well. So his risk score is an average of 2, and he wants to bring that down to 1. He made a very small profit in December, and I think he'll end up with a small profit in January as well, because some of the companies he's got and the funds he's got are really good. I don't know what all of these are, but he said they were good. Let's have a look at a quick one of these. What is VNQ? VNQ is, real estate. Okay, so that's a good one. So that's my family. I'd be really grateful if you could copy us. It would be really appreciated. Start with a very small amount, $200. But this video really is about how to pick the best elite, and those are the rules I'm going to use. And I'll try and do one every day if I can, maybe one every other day. There will probably be more elites coming as well, because there's these people who are champing at the bits. I think a lot of them will be soon at the elite level. So once they do become elite, I'll put them into the mix as well. So my name is Ifti. Thank you very much for listening, for joining. I appreciate the time, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon.